Welcome back, Algebra 2 students. We're going to be looking at checkpoint B number 2. It says here are two graphs represented by a of x equals, by y equals a of x and y equals b of x. So select all statements that are true. A of x plus b of x is positive or greater than 0 when x is greater than 0. So let's see. A of x plus b of x should look something like, whoops, I did a little too high. So it starts curving around here, and then why does it not? It doesn't curve all the way around right there. So it should curve right there, and then it goes up, right? Sorry, I was trying to get it a little bit lower. That should be around the three mark. Let me see if I can do something about it. Give me 1 second. It should be around there. Boom, and then it goes up. All right. Okay. So now, if anything, it curves a little bit more because the parabola pushes it. So it should be something like this. Boom, and then it just curves up. That should be a of x plus b. Again, the parabola is more dominant. It forces a U shape. So eventually this line, when I combine a and b, it'll start curving up as well. So is that true? Is this function, when I add it together, going to be positive for every value that's bigger than 0? Well, yeah, if I'm looking at the x-axis going this way, all the values are going to be positive because it just shoots up. So that statement is true. Let's look at B. The graph of a of x plus b of x has a y-intercept at 0, 3. I'm not too sure about that. Like, this is just a sketch. My sketch happened to go through it. It could be lower, it could be higher. If I'm not 100% sure, I'm just going to go ahead and cross it off. So I don't think B is true. A of x minus b of x is negative or less than 0 when x is negative. Sorry, when x is, when x is less than -1. So if I'm going in the reverse order, if my graph originally was supposed to go like this, something like that, that means my reverse order should go something like this. Are my y values going to be negative? Well, no, the y values are not being negative, right? If they're not being negative, or if you think that this is not going to look like that, then it should look something like this, a little bit more wider. But then again, like you see that there's always this curve, because again, I told you the parabola is dominant. It's forcing it to curve back up at some point. So if it's forced to curve back up at some point, then that means that this statement cannot be true, because at some point it's going to go back to being positive, even if it's going in the negative x direction. The graph of y equals ax minus bx has a y-intercept at 0, 3. Again, I'm not too sure. Let's see, can I identify that? Well, again, it curves. I think it should, but at the same time, I'm not too sure. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a maybe. If you were to see this one on exam, I would say yes, choose it just to be safe. But I'm not too sure. So the difference between B and D is that for B, I know for sure it's gonna curve up. So I know it. I start here and then it curves up. I know it curves up. The reason I'm not sure if it's gonna intercept y equals 0, 3 is because the curve right away, it's quick. So it could be that the graph curves right above the 2 and it curves up. It could be that it curves right above the 4, or it could be that it curves right at 3. So I'm not too sure right here. But for this one, you can see that it's going to be a gradual change. So it's going to be a gradual change. And then once it goes up this way, I don't know if it happens further down the line or closer, but I know for a fact that the slant has to start sooner. So it could be there. I'm not too sure, again, like I said, but just on the exam, if they were to give you that option for the negative, I would go with it. Let's look at the graph of y equals ax times bx, that one has an intercept at 1, 0. So When I'm multiplying two functions, I want to figure out one thing. This is something new that you're probably just learning from the study guide. Are they both going in the positive direction, or is one going positive and one's going negative? Well, let's look at the parabola. The parabola, this side is going up in a positive direction, and this side is going up in a positive direction. My linear graph, my line, starts in the negative, but even if it starts on the negative side, it's going upwards. So that means to me that my graph has to start at a positive value, or it has to have some sort of a positive value. So it should be something like this, and then it should curve. So when I multiply, it's gonna look a little bit different. All I know is that it's gonna start where the graph intersects the x-axis, and then it should be shooting up. I don't know what happens below it, so it could either go straight down like this, or it can start curving up like this. I don't know what it looks like, but all I know that it starts positive at this intersection of 1, 0. So my graph, when I multiply them, it has to have that intercept of 1, 0. So E is correct. E is correct. Okay, whoops, I missed a circle. Okay, hopefully that was clear. If not, you can always come back to me and ask me a question. I will be doing part C in the next video.